Um, this is a this is an attempt to read the preface of Beowulf, an Anglo-Saxon epic. Preface: the present work is a modern effort to reproduce approximately in modern measures the venerable epic Beowulf. Approximately, I repeat, for a very close reproduction of Anglo-Saxon verse would, to a large extent, be prose to a modern ear. The Haynes-Sosen text and glossary have been closely followed. Occasionally, a deviation has been made, but always for what seemed good and sufficient reason. The translator does not aim to be an editor. Once in a while, however, he has added a conjecture of his own to the emendations quoted from the criticisms of other students of the poem. This work is addressed to two classes of readers. From both of these alike, the translator begs sympathy and cooperation. The Anglo-Saxon scholar he hopes to please by adhering faithfully to the original. The student of English literature he aims to interest by giving them, in modern garb, the most ancient epic of our race. This is a bold and venturesome undertaking, and yet there must be some students of the Teutonic past willing to follow even a daring guide, if they may read in modern phrases of the sorrows of Hrothgar, of the prowess of Beowulf, and of the feelings that stirred the hearts of our forefathers in their primeval homes. In order to please the larger class of readers, a regular cadence has been used, a measure which, while retaining the essential characteristics of the original, permits the reader to see ahead of him in reading. Perhaps every Anglo-Saxon scholar has his own theory as to how Beowulf should be translated. Some have given us prose versions of what we believe to be a great poem. Is it any reflection on our honored Kemble and Arnold to say that their translation failed to show a layman that Beowulf is justly called our first epic? Of those translators who have used verse, several have written from what it would seem a mistaken point of view. Is it proper, for instance, that the grave and solemn speeches of Beowulf and his companion be put in ballad measures, tripping lightly and airily along? Or, again, is it fitting that the rough martial music of Anglo-Saxon verse be interpreted to us in the smooth measures of modern blank verse? Do we hear what has been beautifully called the clanging tread of a warrior male? Of all English translations of Beowulf, that of Professor Garrett alone gives any adequate idea of the chief characteristics of this great Teutonic epic. The measures used in the present tra- translation is believed to be a near reproduction of the original, as modern English affords. The cadences closely resemble those used by Browning in some of his most striking poems. The four stresses of the Anglo-Saxon verse are retained, and as much thesis and anacresis is allowed as is consistent with a regular cadence. Alliteration has been used to a large extent, but it was thought that modern ears would hardly tolerate it on every line. End rhyme has been used occasionally, internal rhyme sporadically. Both have some warrant in Anglo-Saxon poetry. For end rhyme, see blah 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 and the rest of the numbers. What Gumer calls the rhyme giver has been studiously kept, viz. The first accepted syllable in the second half verse always carries the alliterations, and the last accented syllable alliterates only sporadically. Alternate alliteration is occasionally used, as in the original. No two accented syllables have been brought together except occasionally, after a caesural pause. Or, scientifically speaking, severe C types have been avoided, as not consonant with the plan of translation. Several of its types, however, constantly occur, for example, A and small a variants. The parallelism of the original have been faithfully preserved. For example, Lord and Wielder of Glory. Occasionally, some loss has been sustained, but on the other hand, a gain has here and there been made. The effort has been made to give a decided flavor of archaism to the translation. All words not in keeping with the spirit of the poem have been avoided. Again, though many archaic words have been used, there are none, it is believed, which are not found in standard modern poetry. With these preliminary remarks, it will not be amiss to give an outline of the story of the poem.